the most anticipated show of the year for me. It has been for the last 2 years, but of course, the show ended up kind of being maybe delayed, or at least the production was moved a little bit. So it is this year. It is 2025. The Vince Gilligan show on Apple TV Plus. I think it's been going by the name Waikaro 339 or something like that. But this is, it was very similar, right, to the situation with El Camino. When, what was that one called? I want to say a Greenbrier, right, or something like that. And people were like, "Oh, it's Greenbrier, right?" And this news broke of like this local newspaper in New Mexico that found them filming or something like that, and so it was leaked. In this way, it looks like Apple TV Plus got ahead of any local newspapers. So the official name of it is Pluribus. Pluribus, and so apparently this is a Latin word. It's, used, I think it's what, a pluribus e annum, or annum? I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but anyways, it essentially means, when we all, come together, or when, plural, right, plural things come together and kind of work as one towards a goal or something like that. And I think it's on American currency, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So anyways, lots of stuff that you could dive into, and I'm sure people will in the months ahead, into the title, what it means and what it can mean for the show. Nonetheless, just an interesting title, it's just kind of thought-provoking right away, to think about what that means. In terms of, if I had to guess, obviously the show, we on the teaser trailer that Apple TV Plus put out, the big slogan has been happiness is contagious. And so, and with the plot details of the show now that we've gotten, it really seems like this is, like I said, kind of everyone coming together for the common good, right, to achieve things together, and perhaps that's to achieve happiness in this kind of sci-fi world that we're dealing with in this show. So anyways, it says Pluribus, the first look at Vince Gilligan going sci-fi after Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, as the Apple TV Plus series sets fall release. And so there's a great picture here as well for the new series. I think this is the only picture I've been able to find. Like, this is the only first look that they've released. And then this teaser that we got. So I think that's still it. Even on the Apple Press website, where I go on a lot to get, pictures and media and stuff. I don't even think they have this picture on their press site. So they haven't even done a press release really formally of it. So hopefully the next, few days or obviously a few months that we have until it comes out, we'll get obviously more first looks and the official trailer as well. So the article states happiness is contagious. So that is kind of the slogan that is being used so far. That's the tagline for the mysterious new sci-fi series from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul mastermind Vince Gilligan, titled Pluribus. The show premieres with 2 episodes November 7th. Right, November 7th on Apple TV Plus. It says the 9-episode drama will conclude its first season on December 26th, and it has already been renewed for season 2. So this is something we knew a long time ago. Sony was trying to market this new show that Vince Gilligan had a concept for. Apple TV Plus ends up picking it up, and not only did they pick it up, they greenlit it for 2 seasons before a single frame had been shot on the thing. Probably before even all the scripts were finished for the first season. Would assume maybe like the pilot was finished, but other than that, probably they greenlit this thing with essentially like nothing done on it. They already put ahead 2 seasons in their order, and so yeah, easily no surprise there that it's already been renewed. So, November 7th, yeah, I'm disappointed. I really thought that this would be sooner. I was thinking October at the latest. So it is a little disappointing for that, but of course, that's just, my own, to my own disdain, of course. Obviously, if the show needs that time, and it's going to be even better if it has a little more time, obviously, with effects work and post-production, obviously, then I will take that. But to me, just being impatient, I wanted to see this thing as soon as possible. So that is a little unfortunate. That is November 7th. I mean, so we got August, September, October. We got like 3 months still until this comes out. And it feels like we waited essentially like 7 months for any news about the show. I did say it in my couple episodes ago, I think, on the channel, like, I'm starting to get just a little worried about this show because we haven't heard anything. And then like a week later, we get all this, the first news about it. So good timing there, I guess. But anyways, it will be 9 episodes, which is interesting as well. That seems about right? Like, I think that's pretty much in line with all these Apple shows, all these streaming shows. 9 episodes seems to be about the sweet spot. Of course, Breaking Bad was, 13 for most of its run. And so it will be a little different to see Vince Gilligan working with fewer episodes, perhaps. So Pluribus marks reunion between Gilligan and 2-time Emmy nominee Rhea Seehorn, of course, who played Kim Wexler in Better Call Saul. On Pluribus, Seehorn is Carol, the most miserable person on Earth who must save the world from happiness. Details about the plot of the show are scant. So this though, like these 2 lines here in this article are more than we've known up to this point. This is new news to us. So she's playing Carol, the most miserable person on Earth who must save the world from happiness. So obviously, it's kind of this irony, of course, of her, saving the world from happiness. And of course, this is something that Vince Gilligan has talked about recently. I did a video on this covering, his speech to the WGA recently about, him wanting more good guys on TV and kind of embracing happiness, embracing heroes, embracing the good, essentially, in society and in the world. And so, obviously, this show, I think, is going to be satirizing that, at least from this line, it seems like, is going to be kind of satirizing that and saying, that she's going to stop, the world from being happy. Well, obviously, the main goal is to make the world happy. So, anyways, very interesting. But yeah, that is like the only details that we're getting, even though we've now got a first look and a teaser and everything. That's still all we have. So interesting, though, nonetheless. And of course, I don't know if I already stated it, but yeah, the article has said it's a sci-fi, right? Vince Gilligan said publicly, I think it was like on a Rich Eisen interview or something like that I watched. This was like already maybe 2 years ago, that he said it's kind of a cross between, what did he say? I think the Twilight Zone and the X-Files or something like that. But in the vein of Twilight Zone, where essentially it's our normal world and then something happens, an event happens, and then it's almost kind of this post-apocalyptic, the rest of the show, and then this is where we get the sci-fi elements that come in. So anyways, really interesting. That sounds so cool. Vince Gilligan working with that. It's going to be obviously a marked departure, right, from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, that world. It is not, even though Rhea Seehorn is coming back, it is not going to be like those shows and that world, though, of course, I mean, it's going to have some of those Vince Gilligan, elements to it, of course. I think if I had to guess, to be honest, I think it is going to be in the kind of range of the early episodes of Breaking Bad, where, I mean, if you watch, like, especially those first 3 episodes, I think, of Breaking Bad, I mean, it's essentially like a black comedy, right? Like, those first 3 episodes are just they're so funny. Like, they really are. And don't get me wrong, of course, all throughout the show, there are great comedic moments, some really funny moments, and, definitely elements of black comedy. But those first 3 episodes, like, there's very little, dramatic, elements to that. Maybe in the pilot, right, in some ways. But it's a black comedy, those first 3 episodes. So I think if I had to guess that this series is going to be a little in that vein. We're going to get more of that kind of black comedy, especially more than we saw in like the later seasons of Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, where he's going to be playing on this. Because if you look at this line, right, the most miserable person on earth who must save the world from happiness, right? I mean, that's, it just naturally has a kind of comedic spin to it. So to me, it does feel like we might see that. And Vince is amazing at that, right? Like, those first 3 episodes, again, hilarious, some of the stuff that he writes in there, and he wrote those first 3. So anyways, I think that's really promising. I think that could be really cool. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to see, what that actually is and if I'm right at all. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe it is going to be very serious. I'm not sure. But that's what I would guess. So Apple TV Plus also announced additional casting for the series, which I've been really waiting for here. Starring along Seehorn are Carolina Wydra, who's from Sneaky Pete, Carlos Manuel Vesga, who's from Donde Tu Quieres, Guest stars Miriam Shore and Samba Shoot and she's from Our Flag Means Death, he or she. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with them. So to be honest, I haven't really heard of any of these. I've maybe, seen Carolina Wydra in Sneaky Pete. I think I maybe watched the pilot of that. So if she's in the pilot, maybe I've seen her. But anyway, so not really big known or well-known names, I should say, for this cast. I actually did expect, to recognize more names in this cast, but I don't know. I mean, that's, Bryan Cranston was obviously big for Breaking Bad, but Aaron Paul, not really. Anna Gunn, not really. Betsy Brandt, Dean Norris, right? A lot of those names, from Breaking Bad and even Better Call Saul. Rhea Seehorn, right? I mean, I don't think many people knew about her before then. So, really, interesting to see these names, and we'll have to see what they, offer, what their performances are like. And obviously, I mean, they've only listed 2 other main cast members, so there's going to be more than that, obviously, and so I wouldn't be surprised if they're kind of holding back on some, more well-known names or bigger names that are in this show, and they're just kind of holding back on that. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So it says, in a cryptic 30-second teaser for the series, a woman wearing pink scrubs licks donuts and places them back into a box labeled "Help Yourself" with a smiley face. So that essentially is the whole teaser. They did a countdown on Apple TV Plus, the YouTube channel, counting down the days, the minutes, the hours until this teaser dropped. And unfortunately, it literally is just like 35 seconds of this one little scene where we don't recognize the actress who's in it, and it's very disconnected obviously from anything that's happening in the show, but it is very interesting. I like it, right? It's very much hyping the show up a lot, and I think Apple TV Plus is giving it the credit and the attention that it deserves. Now, yeah, am I a little upset that this teaser really didn't show much, especially with a countdown, and I was literally anticipating this thing for like 48 hours before it dropped? Yeah, I'm a little disappointed, but I also really respect that they're really hyping this up, like in the same vein of some of the stuff that Stranger Things has done, right? Where they'll release like a first look and it's literally just 10 seconds of footage. And then the teaser, right there, the first teaser trailer came out and it's like more. And then they had that to-dum announcement or whatever, right? Even the names of the episodes, they did like a separate announcement teaser for that. And it's literally just text coming up on the screen telling you the episode titles. So it's really interesting to see that Apple TV Plus is almost doing like the same thing with this series. So, and obviously they know this is going to be big. This is going to get a lot of attention. Vince Gilligan is involved. So obviously it's not going to be at all similar to Stranger Things, especially not season 5, which is going to be perhaps, I'm guessing, probably the biggest thing since Game of Thrones this last season. But anyways, you get the point. They're trying to drum up that buzz about the show. So it says, Pluribus is produced by Sony Pictures Television. Big news here. Executive produced by Vince Gilligan alongside Gordon Smith. Awesome to hear that he's working on this show. Kind of, I thought that this was probably the case, but really great news that he's on this show, because to me, he's one of the best, writers on Better Call Saul, wrote some of the best episodes of the series, and it's just a really great, writer. He's done some great stuff with Breaking Bad. I think he was a staff writer for the first few seasons, so really great. And then Alison Tadlock as well is coming on board, and I'm assuming all these, names are going to be writers on the show, right? And she did some great stuff with Better Call Saul. So just amazing that he's brought these guys, from Better Call Saul, from Breaking Bad, along for the ride for this new show. It's just awesome, man. Would I like to see, Thomas Schnauz here? Would I have liked to see, Maura Wally Beckett from Breaking Bad, or, who else? Jennifer Hutchison, any of these names, Sam Catlin, right? Yeah, probably, but are they busy at doing other stuff? Yes, probably also, but I'm especially wondering what Thomas Schnauz is going to do next, for sure. But anyways, Diane Mercer as well is involved, Alice Ozarki, and Jeff Frost. So it sounds like obviously they'll be the main writers. I'm assuming that is essentially the writer's room, what I just read. So really great to see those couple names that I recognize. Anyways, definitely check out the teaser for it. Again, don't want to get your hopes up. It's not much, but a great first picture here of Rhea Seehorn in the show. So yeah, I'm so hyped for this, obviously. Easily my most anticipated thing for the rest of the year. November 7th, we have to wait quite a while yet, but I am really, really excited for this. To me, I don't see a world where this is just not great. Like, I just think this show, I have so much confidence in it. I think this is going to be amazing. So anyways, love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of this new information on the Vince Gilligan series. This stuff is, just really exciting for me. Again, I said I was starting to get a little worried, but they've fully restored my confidence in this show. I'm fully on board and looking forward to it. So obviously we'll get something before November 7th. Probably, at least one trailer, at least maybe a teaser and then a trailer or something like that. But yeah, really looking forward to this. So definitely I'll be talking about it when we get some more news on the show as it comes out.